how on earth are the family not like, I can see how this has upset you.
Yeah,
Tracing the edges of my avocado makes me think of tracing the edges of your body.
Lovely. You should write erotic poetry, Shaaba. Yay. After a brunch of discussions of terminology and boundaries... What?
A bunch, my love. I don't think they went to brunch.
My head.
It's just
my
a bunch.
head was like, this is so formal. They had a brunch to discuss this. I'm hungry. Leave me alone.
And now you're talking about being in a 3-way relationship with the future of children that you don't want with someone who you view as your sister.
Ooh. You're through to 1-800-DRAMA,
the show where you share your biggest dilemmas.
and we help you navigate them.
I'm Shaaba.
And I'm Jamie.
Come join us as we help people figure out if they are the drama.
Because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
And we can all expand our own mindsets along the way.
Wait, am I the drama? So, Shaaba, what do you think of thirst traps? Red flag, green flag, amber, a beige flag? What are we thinking?
It's so contextual. It's mostly a red flag for me.
Oh, okay.
See, I don't mind. Yeah, I'm giggling like a little girl because I just thought about the last thirst trap which I saw, and I was very thirsty.
Okay.
It was very good.
You fell for the trap.
But it wasn't like a traditional thirst trap. I don't think it was even intended as a thirst trap. Maybe it was. I don't know. My good friend, who's also a fantastic creator, Lena Norms, shared it on her stories.
Okay.
Totally calling out Lena here, but in the best way. She also has a great pod that I was on, so maybe you want to take a look at Notebooks on a Dead Planet. Anyway, Lena posted this video from a guy who was like making a Rubik's Cube. Do you make a Rubik's Cube?
Solving.
Sure.
You solve a Rubik's
Yeah,
Cube.
okay.
You've solved a Rubik's Cube, haven't you?
Clearly,
No,
I'm
never.
very good at it. And he was just like super geeky, but in a hot way.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And she was just like, these are the kind of thirst traps that I'm here for. And I watched it like 5 times. And I was like, oh, dude, I get it.
Right.
For the first time ever, I got thirst traps. So normally a red flag, because like when I hear thirst traps, I think of like people on TikTok. And for me, looks is confidence. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to call people ugly. I actually think so many people are very beautiful. But what I find really not beautiful is when people really think they're beautiful, and they like that the arrogance of like, no, you must see me as beautiful.
Look how sexy
they're like
I am.
licking their lips and doing this like ridiculous TikTok dance.
We're talking about deliberate TikTok thirst traps being the red flag. The green flag and the okay are the accidental thirst traps, or people just posting themselves and being like, hey, here I am.
Wholesomeness is good. And sexy, understated sexy is sexy.
Okay, quiet confidence.
Yeah, but
That
now I
isn't
feel like
arrogant.
I'm sounding like, oh no, you can't be like confident with how you look. Like, oh my god, nude.
Nude.
That is what is it called?
Nude. Freudian slip.
Thank you, if ever I had one.
Shaaba's got nudes on the brain.
But like, oh my god, dude, like, show yourself off. I'm so here for a good selfie. But there is a line. Right? There is a line where it's just too much.
It's the line between confidence and arrogance.
I think cringe is, yes, and cringe is such a good word. When it's not cringy and it is just confidence.
Yeah.
Fab. Amazing. You do you. Show your beautiful self off.
Basically, we're just red flagging arrogance at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound healthy?
Wonderful.
What about you? Thirst traps.
Oh, no,
Flag.
I completely agree. Red flagging the arrogant thirst traps that borderline into that cringe. Green lighting the ones that are just people feeling themselves and being themselves. And
I'm feeling myself.
Yeah.
I'm feeling myself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Because I had to go through the embarrassment. I mean, I voluntarily shared the information. You do too now, because I just made this rule up. What was the most recent thirst trap that you saw that made you thirsty?
I haven't seen one. No, genuinely, I haven't seen one recently. I am like... You are so thirsty to the point where you could drink 5 litres a day of thirst traps, whereas I just need like a sip. I'm good.
Okay. I was going to say challenge accepted. I'm not going to be the one to make thirst traps because I would just come out
thirst traps.
as like an awkward bean in every single one. It's not the kind of content I'm made for. But yeah, for everyone else listening, please, I implore you, make a thirst trap that Jamie approves of.
No.
Oh, drama.
So, Shaaba, are you ready to go
Fishing for
drama.
assholes.
How many times do we have to have this conversation?
Potato.
We're fishing for some drama.
Go for it.
Am I the drama for ruining Christmas, in quotes, and being upset the only gifts I got from my family were, quote, joke gifts?
Ooh, see, it's January.
Yeah.
I still feel there's a lot of fallout from Christmas.
I feel like...
I was just talking about this.
No, exactly, I agree.
So...
Christmas is January's gossip.
Some background, says OP.
Ooh.
My family likes to play pranks with Christmas and birthday gifts. It's nothing new. I'm a 21-year-old woman, as well as my 5 siblings who all range from around 29 to 37 years old.
Okay.
We've all been pranked on our birthdays and on Christmas, and it's usually 1 or 2 gifts.
Okay.
This, to me, doesn't sound problematic.
No. I'm personally not like the biggest fan of pranks, but if you know it's coming and it's a tradition, you're just like, ah ha ha ha, okay.
You know the ones where they have scratch cards and they are fake scratch cards, but they think that they've won,
Yeah.
and they let it go on for such a long time. They're like, oh my god, we've won, and everyone's kind of in on it, and then they're
Yeah.
like, read the back, read the terms, and they're like, it's fake.
Yeah.
I just think it's mean.
Yeah, I think it's mean too. And the one I was thinking of in my head is like kids who have asked for like an iPad or a computer, and they get the box and then they put like a note in that says haha, or like they give them keys thinking they've got a car, and then it's just to like the parents' car on the driveway, and they're like, got you. And it's just so, it's because I feel secondhand embarrassment for the excitement people show, and they're like, oh my god, thank you so much, this is amazing, and they start crying, and then they realise it was a prank.
A joke isn't funny if not everybody is laughing. I'm sure there's a much more eloquent way to have said what I just said.
Yeah.
But if you're really hurting someone, if you're making them
Yeah.
feel sad or shameful, I don't see that as being funny.
But we don't know if that's what these pranks are like. But
With
just-
the exception of jump scares at things like Fright Night Halloween Park things.
Okay, sure.
That's my rule.
Right.
Okay.
Carry on.
All right. This Christmas, though, I was the only person to get all the joke gifts.
Oh.
That's sad. For example, I unwrapped a MacBook from my brother, Jamie, but when I opened it, it was just some chocolate, which I don't eat, so I gave it away.
Oh.
And the MacBook was actually given to my sister inside of a bag that she wanted.
What the heck is going on?
Can I also say, these are like spenny gifts. Like, if you're
Yeah.
MacBooking as an extra gift, you know, not as an only gift at Christmas time, like, wow.
I've never heard of, like, you know when they do the boxes and it's a fake thing, it actually being a gift for somebody else in the family.
Yeah.
Normally they buy the box, or it's an old box.
Yeah.
It's not actually a gift.
Yeah. Another bunny quote gift was what I thought was a book I put on my Christmas list was actually just the book cover put on a dictionary. The effort as well to find these
Yeah.
extra things. When I asked my mum about the book, she told me that she gave it to my sister-in-law.
What the... Have they just taken this poor girl's list and given it entirely to somebody else?
Maybe they were like, you know what, budgeting. We want to do joke gifts, so let's split a gift in 2. This went on with each present my siblings or parents had given me. AirPods were just a charger block, adapter, gift cards were used and had 0 balance, a card with Monopoly money, and so on, totaling about 12 joke gifts. Gosh, reactions to gifts already are so like awkward to do. It's like someone singing you happy birthday in a
Yeah.
restaurant. If you had to be like, ha 12 times.
Yeah.
Surely that would grate on anyone.
But she must have gotten to like number 3 being a joke and realising they're probably all jokes.
Really?
And
12
just, like,
gifts? I wouldn't think that.
Suddenly, well, like you'd think, did I really pick the 3 jokes in a row? Like I'd be like, there must be another joke here somewhere, and then they keep being, especially when you get to like 8 and 9.
Very
I'd
deflating.
be like, okay,
Yeah.
great, AirPods are not really AirPods, are they? Go away.
Yeah. At this point, I was bummed, so I went to the living room to watch TV with my boyfriend. At dinner, they were all talking about how much they loved their gifts, and when my dad asked why I hadn't said anything about mine, I said that there wasn't much to say. Everyone but my boyfriend laughed, and my mum said it was no big deal as everyone also got some joke gifts. I told her that every gift that I got was a joke gift, and that the ones that they got were also followed by the real one.
Yeah.
It's that followed by the real one,
Yeah.
right? My dad told me that I needed to relax as I'm making a big deal about it, and I'd have next Christmas to get the stuff on my list.
It's
I'll
not
just wait a
like,
year.
Oh,
Well,
it's,
we'll joke gift you again.
it's your turn to get pranked entirely.
Yeah. Not wanting to go back and forth. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with how, like, an entire family can justify it unless they didn't communicate and everyone was like, oh yeah, I'm doing the joke gifts for OP this time.
Oh,
And it was
yeah.
a, like, miscommunication
But
thing.
you'd think if it was a miscommunication, they all thought the parents were doing the real gift, so siblings were doing the joke gifts, you'd think on the day they'd all look at each other and then OP and be like, oh,
Oops.
damn.
Yeah,
We'll
not
rectify
exactly,
this. We
not the
thought
dinner.
they were doing the joke gifts and, you know, they were doing the real gifts, we were doing the jokes.
You would feel bad.
Yeah.
And there is no sense of remorse from this
there
family.
isn't.
Not wanting to go back and forth, I told my boyfriend that I wanted to leave and we can spend the rest of Christmas break with his family and then go home. My family got mad and told me to not go and to just stay because it wasn't serious. I left and I put my phone on Do Not Disturb during the drive, and by the time we got to my boyfriend's parents' house, I had several missed calls and texts from them calling me names like ungrateful, sensitive, and childish.
What did she have to be ungrateful about?
They said that I ruined Christmas and made my parents upset because I left. The next day, I exchanged and opened gifts with my boyfriend and his family, and one of the gifts I'd gotten was the book that I wanted, the book that my mum pretended to give me. I'm really glad for OP that they did actually get some actual gifts this year. Yeah. I posted it on my Instagram story, and not even 0 minutes after posting, my sister sent a screenshot of my story to the family group chat, and they basically got mad at me for leaving and telling me that I ruined Christmas over some presents. They told me that I owe everyone, especially my parents, an apology because my mum spent New Year's sad because of my actions. Now I just want an outside party to tell me, am I the drama here? Am I in the wrong for being upset about gifts and for leaving? After reading their messages and sitting on this for a few days, I'm now feeling like maybe I was upset over nothing and I need to apologise to them.
I personally, just going to call it, in my opinion, not the drama.
Not the drama?
Not the drama.
I'm also saying not the drama here.
And it's not to say that everybody deserves expensive or big gifts or any gifts at all, but it's just in the context of an entire family together, siblings, parents, everybody getting a couple joke gifts, but then a couple things from their list, and OP being the only one to literally not get a single gift that wasn't a joke.
What I find like the most
That's
surreal
rude.
out of this is like, how on earth are the family not like in retrospect being like, I can see how this has upset you.
Yeah.
I can see that you have only joke gifts and we actually have real gifts. You know, after this is being explained, how are you still like, oh, get over it. There's next year.
Yeah.
It's so confusing to me.
How can you expect somebody who got all joke gifts to think they got a MacBook and then that's actually for somebody else, and then to think they got a book that was on their list and that's also for somebody else? Like, it's not even as if those gifts just didn't exist at all. They were literally other people's gifts when they were pretended to be gifted to OP. It's just such a bizarre thing.
Is that funny?
I wouldn't find it funny.
I just don't find it funny.
If all the gifts were jokes for everybody, I wouldn't mind.
Do you know,
I don't care.
I just said something to your parents about this recently and they gifted it to you. I said, so Jamie's parents, okay, hang on. Jamie's always wanted a Vespa, right?
Uh-huh.
And they were saying, hey, we found this pizza cutter, because he loves pizza, that's in the shape of a little Vespa and we want to give it to him. And I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be so funny if you said, hey, we got you a Vespa, and then gave him the pizza cutter.
Yeah.
I can't see that. Like, I feel like that is harmless. I'm not saying, hey, say we got you a Vespa, take you to the garage. Do you know what I mean? And then
there's a
give you
pizza cutter on the floor.
I'm saying, like, give you a package that fits in my two hands and say, hey, we got you a Vespa.
Yeah. At worst, I might think that there's a key inside there, and then be like, oh, okay. But also, I personally wouldn't expect a Vespa, but then I also know that would be the only joke.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. The thing that bugs me the most about this, and I think it's just like a matter of principle that comes up or should be coming up often with all of this, if somebody is telling you that they are hurt by something, even if you had good intentions, it really pisses me off that this family is not even trying to listen to OP's point of view.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, clearly, OP is upset. Clearly, OP is angry, and they're like, you have hurt us. We are so hurt. Like, try to understand. It's fine. Both can be true.
Yeah.
You can be hurt too.
Yeah.
But try and work it out. And you need to, like, at least acknowledge that OP is also hurting. And there's a reason. You know, it's not like they've just gone off to gallivant somewhere else. The posting of the book wasn't to be like, oh, they didn't tag family members to be like, see, blah, 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 an actual book.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just think it's really emotionally insensitive.
I do too. If it's ever like, you've upset me, this is why, and the response is, well, we're upset because now you've upset us because
you've ruined my new year.
Exactly. Like, you have a conversation then and work it out, and then maybe you wouldn't be upset over New Year because you could work things out. Like, dude.
Yeah. And I know that I'm particularly, like, triggered by sort of like being manipulated, the words manipulation, that sort of thing. But there's a specific line here that says, I've been sitting on it for a few days, and now after reading their messages, I feel like maybe I was upset over nothing. Like, no. That's why I think it's actually really useful to ask for third-party opinions. That's why I love doing things like this, because it's so important to understand things from without, like, outside your bubble, you know, without that internal invested issue of complexities of relationships and whatever. Like, objectively, it is weird to only get joke gifts.
Yeah, it is. I think you're so right on your point about, like, it is a bit of a flag. It doesn't always mean that after you read messages and then you realise maybe you overreacted in a situation that you didn't, and it's just other people manipulating you.
And it's always great to take some time.
Yes, it is good to take some time. But there has been several occasions where, like, objectively, morally, somebody has done something bad to me, and then they have absolutely refused to take any accountability for that.
And if you're being bombarded with those messages, you kind of like question your sanity.
And everything coming from them is, we've done nothing wrong. Actually, we're upset in this situation.
You've hurt us. Yeah. How dare you?
You sit there going, wait, did I do something wrong? And
Are you the drama?
Am I the drama? It's through speaking to other people that I then realised, oh wait, no, there's objectivity involved in this, where, like, they were just bad.
Hot damn.
So yeah, I think that was... I'm glad that OP decided to post this.
Yeah, and I'm sad that it's happened, and I agree. Big, not the drama.
Yes.
Shall we see what other people have had to say? Don't apologise. Your family sucks, and you've done nothing wrong, says one commenter.
Yeah, I agree. The biggest prank you played that night was fooling me into thinking I had a family that loved me beforehand.
This is done as like a suggested response back, quote, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's poetic, but again, where is the lie?
Yeah, I mean, right? I think loved is a bit of a strong term to use. I think maybe, like, cared about my feelings, or, like, considered my feelings, because that's what it feels like. It's just really inconsiderate of their family.
Yeah.
What happened.
Yeah, I agree. Though,
ouch.
I mean, yes, but also, I'm not trying to turn it into a domestic or anything. No, just saying, I do agree with you. But I do think it can be like a big realization over something that feels kind of trivial like this, to realize that actually there are big problems. I'm not saying there are big problems. This could totally just be like a one-off thing where the family messed up. But if this is a greater sense of like a manipulation, or just a family that isn't treating you well.
Behavioural traits.
It seems like a little thing, but like really that isn't loving you. If what they're doing is like that's bullying you. It's the opposite, right? That's not care. So maybe
and
it is
victimizing themselves and being like, why are you upset that we did this really inconsiderate, insensitive thing to you, and now we're upset and it's your fault?
This is a special occasion for all of you. You're clearly hurting. So do you see what I mean? So like, sure, yes, loved in some ways seems like a difficult term, but also
you're here with like the important that you're looking at this very deeply today. I appreciate that, because you're right. Because
call me Freud. Nude.
A family that can do that, because I'm thinking about our families. I don't think, like,
I wouldn't dream
they would do that. We wouldn't do that to anybody. The fact that you can do that to somebody and then make them think that they are the problem, that's horrible.
And it's that they are the problem. That's the big red flag to me. I'm like, no, don't be doing that.
If they'd apologised and been like,
our bad, it was bad move, in bad taste, whoops, it happens. I get it. People mess up, but like, learn from it.
Yeah,
be willing to grow.
Agreed.
Oh, OP's actually responded to some of these. They've said, I've learned over the last few years, no reaction is the best reaction, because if I get angry, cried, or spoke up about how I felt, I'd be labelled as I was when I left. I've almost mastered masking my feelings until I'm alone or away from them to avoid worsening a situation.
This sounds like a much deeper problem. This sounds like there's way more issues going on than just Christmas gifts.
Freud, get in here.
Yeah.
It's worth it. This is a toxic trait, I think. A family toxic trait.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came to ask for an outside opinion, OP, and you're totally not the drama.
And this probably is definitely not the only time or the only thing that OP has been made to feel this upset over.
It can make these situations really difficult, and I think we have both individually been in these positions where you are then left questioning, well, I am so dramatic. I must be the drama because something so small has caused this, and I'm the one that has the problem with it. But for anyone who is in a similar position, I just want you to know that what is really important in these situations is to view it not as an isolated incident, but as a straw that has broken the camel's back, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't this, it would have been something else. In so many situations, there's always time after time after time, we need to step back and look at I'm all full of the cliches today, the woods from the trees, you know?
Yeah.
The bigger picture here is showing that something is clearly not right.
Yeah.
And you deserve to stand up for yourself, OP. Am I the drama for asking my fiance to remove his tattoo? This sounds spicy.
It does. And instantly my head goes to bodily autonomy.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued.
Me too. I just want to disclaim as well to anyone listening on our podcasts, I may be doing some ASMR right now, not on purpose. I have hot squash. It's my latest obsession. Just accept my hot squash drinking. Thank you. Go.
Enjoy your hot squash
Thank
whilst
you.
I read. I'm a 24-year-old woman and my fiance, 28-year-old man, has been friends for long before we started dating. Okay. So 5 years ago, he had a girlfriend, a 26-year-old woman, and things seemed to be getting serious. He spoke about getting engaged to her, but she kept saying no or laughing it off as if he'd made a joke. Okay.
Awkward turtle.
Yeah. One day, they decided to get wrist tattoos together. He still tried proposing to her, but she just kept laughing it off. 2.5 years into the relationship, and he caught her cheating on him with her ex, Liam, and they broke up.
Oh my. This is big tea. This is big drama.
Okay. So wouldn't say yes to proposals, wanted to get tattoos together, then cheated.
You talking about the ex?
Yeah, the ex. Yeah.
It sounds like a dream.
That's just an interesting trajectory to take.
Yeah.
Okay. After a year or so, we ended up getting together and everything went well. So a year after he broke up with his ex.
What were the tattoos?
I don't know.
Sorry, this has just dawned on me.
So nosy.
Were they matching tattoos?
Infinity symbols with each other's names in.
I have so many questions.
Yeah.
And is a tattoo seen as less permanent than a proposal and a ring? Or is it seen as like not as relationship heavy? Which again brings me back to what the frick was a tattoos?
Yeah.
I want to know.
It depends on if they got, because OP has said they decided to get wrist tattoos together, not they got a couple's tattoo.
Yes.
So like we have tattoos that we got together that are kind of similar theme, but they're not a couple's tattoo and they're not the same thing.
I mean, they are kind of a couple's tattoo
Yeah,
because
but
we've got
only
pizza and
because we
pasta
got
because
them.
they complement,
Yeah.
right? But with the idea being if we broke up, I mean, you're obsessed with pizza and I'm obsessed with pasta, so it makes sense.
They very much stand alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's that kind of
Or
tattoo.
maybe it's even more, like, oh, let's just go get tattoos together. We both want ones on our wrist. And then
Yeah.
she got like a banana and he got a truck.
Wow, Shaaba.
just like totally unrelated, not pizza and pasta.
Your job should be choosing tattoos for people.
Thank you. You would be avocado. It just came out. It just came out.
Avocados. All right, moving on.
Yes.
We got engaged a year ago. I have seen the tattoo before and found it a bit odd, but was still fine with it, up until I found chats between my fiance and his ex-girlfriend. How did you find chats? 6 months after we got engaged. He spoke about each time he looked at it, it reminded him of her and the physical scar she left on him.
Oh, sounds like he's got some unresolved feelings.
Yeah, definitely. He asked if she removed hers, and that's when I found out that she has the same tattoo. Okay, so they got matching wrist tattoos.
Okay, now,
Yeah.
okay, so is it a love... What is the tattoo? Is it an avocado or is it two hearts of an infinity symbol? I need to know.
Or a poop emoji, you never know. They then spoke about the fact that they will always be a part of each other's lives in a way. Okay, but do you know what I'm trying to think about? If we broke up, but we remained like civil to each other or friends, I could see this being a conversation that we have of like, do you still have your pasta tattoo? Yes. Oh, it will always remind me. You'll always be a part of me and my journey in my life.
Do you think any of the conversations that Opie's described the partner having with the ex is unhealthy? So what's been said?
So each time he looks at it, it reminds him of her and the physical scar she left on him.
That physical scar thing. Okay, like I would probably want to have a conversation with the fiance.
Yeah,
but like makes total sense. Of course.
Has she removed hers? That's when OP
They
found
have the
out
same
they're
tattoo.
matching.
Oh, so
And
she
then
didn't know beforehand that they were
Yeah.
matching tattoos. Okay,
And
sorry, that's just
then
all on me.
They'll always be a part of each other's lives in a way.
Also fine. This doesn't sound horrifically unhealthy to me.
No, and it's also that in a way, it's not like they're best mates hanging out all the time. It's like they'll always be a part of each other's lives because they have the same tattoo.
And it specifically for saying in a way, it's not like, oh, we'll always be part of each other's lives. Like very...
Shaaba, was that your sexy voice?
No, I was trying to
Okay,
do
good.
the whole, you know how at the end of Friends, when Monica and Chandler are going to get the house and they realise that Janice could be the new neighbour.
Oh.
And he's like, but we'll always be a part of each other, you know, like it's not that vibe. It's because it can definitely be said in a way that suggests a relationship. But if you're saying in a way, to me, that's like, no, you're just like, you're a footprint in the beach of my life memories.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Shaaba, why are you just in metaphor cheeseland?
Avocado.
I'm going to read on before
Yeah.
you just say more. I've asked him to get the tattoo removed or cover it with another.
Big no.
Big no.
Already you're the arsehole to me.
My brain is
I'm sorry.
already just going, your drama, because like...
You can't... It's someone else's body. Who are you
yeah.
to choose what they do with it?
It makes
No.
me uncomfortable knowing that he has a tattoo and makes me feel like I'm sharing him with another woman daily.
Cool.
That's your problem.
Too sad. No, so sad, too bad. That is a
Yeah.
big you problem. That doesn't mean he has to change anything. That
Yeah.
means you need to change your mindset.
Uh-huh. We've been in multiple fights because of this. To me, it seems like he doesn't take my feelings into consideration.
Are you considering his feelings?
You're literally asking him to remove something that is supposedly permanently on his body. And it's like, why, if she's insecure, if OP is insecure about the fact that they have matching tattoos, why is that indicative of anything like cheating or still having feelings? If he still has feelings, he still have feelings regardless of whether he has a tattoo.
Okay, question to you.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I was listening to everything you said.
Okay,
Just
good.
ADHD brain, you know, I'm like, cool, yes, and.
Yes.
We have the pizza pasta tattoos.
Yes.
You also have a tattoo on your chest that's like linked to me, right?
Yeah.
It's literally over your heart,
Yeah.
and it's my favourite
Because I love you.
number. Yeah. So like all of that. Yes, I love you too.
Thank you.
yes, and
Moving
yes,
on.
and also,
Yeah.
say we split up.
Yeah.
We grew in different directions. I know, so sad.
No.
Too bad. No, just so sad. And then we found other partners, and you were with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever consider, on your own accord, getting rid of those tattoos?
No. Sitting here now, in the headspace I'm in, no, I wouldn't. And if I got asked to remove them, I'd be like, no. They're part of my body.
Yeah.
They show like a map of my life, the decisions I made at the time.
Yeah.
If I still like it and still want it on my body, that's my choice. If it makes you feel insecure about our relationship, then you don't trust me, and that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
Because if I still had feelings for somebody, if I was going to leave a current partner to go back to you as my ex,
Tattoo or
that's
not.
going to happen, tattoo or not.
Yeah.
This is just OP not being able to deal with the fact that her boyfriend has a past. I'm sure he had more than that partner as well.
Yeah.
Like
if
just...
we were together, if OP got together, oh well, no, this is kind of what's happened, but like with me and you, if you got together with me and you knew that I had a tattoo from a previous relationship, like would that stop you from getting with me?
No.
So why should the trust be different now?
Yeah.
I think the issue, you said something that just light bulbed it for me. This is not about the tattoo.
Yeah.
This is about that conversation. And I still have a question about how you found out about that conversation, because I don't know, I just have a gut feeling that you were looking at text messages,
Yeah.
which is just a big not okay for me anyway.
Up until I found chats between my fiance and his girlfriend.
Sure, Jan, you found
It's like
them.
Found chats.
You looked for them.
Yeah.
Which is just a breach of trust. Like, this is just an unhealthy relationship dynamic, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You need
I
to be
agree.
speaking to each other.
Yeah. There is also... Sorry, we do have one more sentence.
Oh,
that
sorry.
I've been trying to find a way to stall our wedding plans as I cannot get married to a man that has a tattoo that reminds him of another woman.
And you know what, my love? That is entirely fair, because that is your prerogative. And you need to realise what is your prerogative and what is his prerogative.
Yeah.
And your prerogative is to be uncomfortable, but his prerogative is to not want to remove it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. Sometimes I look at these situations, I'm like, I just don't understand how I could, like, you ever doing that to me in the first
Yeah.
place, like suggesting some things. But that's why I think it's just really important to be, like, to have the same values with your partner. And if you don't, like, obviously you don't know until these situations come up. But
Maybe that's a conversation to have.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think bodily autonomy always needs to be respected. And it's not about the tattoo. So stop making it about the tattoo. He could get this tattoo removed And then there could always be like a faint little mark where it used to be. Or she's always thinking, is he messaging her?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
her problem of being insecure in the relationship. And maybe he's given her other reasons that she's not gone into to give her that insecurity. But again, doesn't give her the right to demand he do something to his body he doesn't want to do.
Oh yeah, to clarify, I'm not suggesting that he's a good person. I don't think we have enough information for that at all.
Yeah.
I just think it's his decision as to whether
Yeah.
he removes his own tattoo. Imagine if he gets a cover-up of something he doesn't particularly want because he like abides by her wishes, right? And the cover-up has to be big and dark because that's how cover-ups work. And then she's like, no, this just reminds me of what's underneath.
Yeah.
What are you going to do then?
Yeah, there's always gonna be a reminder of some kind.
There's always gonna be another tattoo. I think as well, what like a more healthy way to look at that would be if this is really what you feel is making you jealous, because this is what it is, jealousy, right? You're feeling a level of FOMO that your partner is sharing this connection with someone else, and you feel as the partner and the person who's going to be marrying this person, you want it. Go get tattoos together. Go add to the collage. Go together and get a tattoo.
If he wants to.
Oh, well, yes, obviously. But I'm telling you, you don't
Yeah,
want that. Because,
yeah.
again, it's not about freaking tattoos, dude.
But
You've
also-
got a bigger scar that you need
You've got
to
a bigger
fix.
fish to fry.
Yeah.
But doing that as well feels like it would be done for the wrong reasons. Don't like brand yourself and
Oh,
him
yeah.
in the relationship just because you're insecure because he did it with another woman.
And okay, that is definitely a way to look at it. And I didn't think of it
I
that
see where
way.
you were coming from.
Do you know what I was thinking was like, if that was me, I'd be like, well, you know what? I feel like I would like that with you. I would like that special connection with you. Would you like to go and get tattoos together?
Yeah, seeing as that's something you're into.
It's okay if it was like inspired by
Yeah.
someone else who had that tattoo
as long
with
as
you.
it's not in spite of.
Yes, inspired by, not in spite
Yeah.
of. Oh, Jamie, we should write songs, babe.
No. You're good enough at that on your own. Should we read some comments?
Sure, but can I just do a little plug first? Because you just mentioned that.
Okay.
My new song, Superglue, is out. So if you want to go take a listen to it over on the Spotify or the Apple Musics or all of the other streaming platforms that you listen to music on, you can totally do that. And thank you, and I love you. And yeah, let's read comments.
The man is point blank reminiscing on emotional ties with an ex. That's not just a tattoo, that's an emotional connection he's still got going with her.
Oh, and someone said he is emotionally cheating. I disagree.
I don't think there's enough information in this post to make that concrete decision. The post
What is
is
emotionally
about
cheating?
removing the. I'd say it's if you still have feelings
Or
and
you're
like,
developing feelings.
and your head is with somebody else.
Yeah.
And like your heart.
In the current, not in the
current,
past.
Yeah. But they sound like from the information we've got, it sounds more like reminiscing over what they had rather than being like, I still feel things for you.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I don't think there's enough information there to say he is emotionally cheating. He could be.
Where would you hedge your bets on that? Because I don't think he is emotionally cheating, but I think there's still some unresolved things from the past, especially with the
for
like
sure.
multiple proposal things
Yeah.
that he's not spoken about, and they definitely need to have a chat about that.
Yeah, no, I agree there's unresolved feelings there.
But you don't consider that emotional cheating?
Depends on what the feelings are. Depends on if he needs closure on like the cheating. Depends on if he actually still has feelings that he needs to discuss. But I don't think it's fair to make a judgment based on that post that he is emotionally cheating.
I agree with
there's
you.
not enough there.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, if that is all, like, my thinking is that is all that she saw on the text, OP, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what she's spoken about. If afterwards, if there was actual emotional cheating going on, there would be more than being like, this tattoo still reminds me of you. Acknowledgement. We'll always be part of each other's lives in some way. End.
Yeah.
Fin. That is it. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That was not like, hey, you want to hook up? Or like, hey, so what are you doing today? I just can't get you out of my head.
Yeah.
That would be emotionally cheating
or
to
like
me.
I look at my tattoo daily to be reminded of you and I love it. Like, or it's
Yeah.
really special to me that I get to be reminded of you. Or
Tracing
that you're
the
still in
edges of my avocado
Yeah,
makes me
like-
think of tracing the edges of your body.
Lovely. You should write erotic poetry, Shaaba. Yay. All I'm going on, if that was said, if you told me, because I wouldn't be going on your phone or finding this accidentally.
That is a big problem to
If
be.
you told me that you'd have that kind of conversation with an ex that you shared something that you still have,
Yeah.
it wouldn't bother me.
I have to be really honest. I am really struggling to not side with the partner here, because the fact that someone's gone on your phone to look at your messages and is feeling like they are entitled to tell you what to do with your body and remove a tattoo that is your history and your choice, those are two super huge red flags to me that I'm like, get in the bin.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sounds brutal, but no. This is a
Trash
hot
bag
mess.
for you.
don't think you should get married. You need to talk a lot more before that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
I think the tattoo is symbolic of the problem rather than the problem itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
I agree, commenter. I agree. Oh, someone's actually asked OP, do you think the feelings will fade without the tattoo? And OP said, I asked about his feelings towards her, and he said that he doesn't feel anything for her as she betrayed him in the worst possible way.
Ah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I definitely think finding out that somebody's done something hurtful like that or behaves in that way can definitely... I've had feelings cut for people in the past, like friends and stuff, after finding out that they're a certain way, because it's just like that is such a behavior that I don't want to be part of, and I don't respect that, and I just don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think like wanting that closure from someone who's hurt you in that way and speaking to a person doesn't mean that you're still in love with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're very different.
Yeah. And like feeling betrayed by somebody and therefore not having like romantic or emotional feelings towards them is not indicative of like emotional cheating or still having feelings for them.
Yeah. I would worry that some people might read this and be like, oh, well, you know what? He said that he doesn't feel anything because she betrayed him, which means if she didn't, he still has those feelings, so he must still love her. Well, no, because the point is people change, right? And she's obviously changed in a way that has hurt him.
Yeah.
And he's being open and honest with you with that.
Yeah.
So take it on face value. Oh, Jamie, this is an interesting question. Somebody asked, how did you find out? And how did you find the texts? Where were they from?
It was 6 months after we got engaged, says OP. He asked me to go fetch his phone from the room, and I saw the chat lying open on his bedside table. And that was when I found out what it meant, and that she also has one, because he asked her if she removed hers or not. I
would walk out at this point. I'd be like, okay. You are the drama.
This isn't absolving him of any potential wrongdoing, but what we're being told here is
an outright lie. It's an outright lie.
Phones fall asleep in like 30 seconds.
You know what? Even if they don't, there is no way that he's going to be leaving that on that app, on that chat, scroll to that specific point on his bedside table, and he'd be asking you to get it. What is wrong with you?
And you know, if he did do all of those things and he asked you to get his phone,
go break up with him.
Nothing going on there, though.
It means he wanted you to see it.
Yeah. And it either means that it's because there's nothing going on, or it's a
no,
hint,
because then he would have told you about it. I very much object to this being the truth. I don't think that's how you found it. Interesting though, how actually a lot of the people on the forum are saying that
not the drama.
Yeah, you're not the drama. I definitely disagree with that. And I actually think that speaks more to a culture of people who, I don't know, are like, this can sound so terrible. I just feel like, specifically in the society that we live in Western society, things like checking people's phones, things like speaking over and like not allowing a man to decide what he wants to do because he's the husband and he has to just, please the wife. This idea of the ball and chain, all of this fits the same kind of profile, and it's a profile that I really, really just object to. I see it mostly in like the cishet vanilla world, right? But like I really, really struggle with it, and I think it's such a norm still. It shocks me when I see it.
Yeah,
but it is actually still the norm.
I just don't understand that it's like you are the drama, but with the caveat that if there is emotional cheating going on, obviously that's a separate issue away from his bodily autonomy.
And then you both suck.
Yeah, and then, it's an everyone is the drama. But when you're asking about the tattoo, and if asking him to remove a tattoo makes you the drama, yes, it does.
Yeah. And checking a phone makes you the drama. Yeah. Like, you don't have any right, especially for the people that you love, to invade their privacy.
Yeah.
When did that just become the norm?
If you don't trust somebody,
speak to them.
Yeah, and if they don't tell you the truth,
speak to them. But then you shouldn't be together, right? Like, that is a sign that go.
Yeah, I agree.
Ugh. All right, shall we move on?
Yes.
One more. Oh, drama. Oh, the wonderful Mer has sent this in. Ethical non-monogamy to sudden romantic poly.
Ooh.
I feel like there's a lot of words here that we should probably explain to people who might be new to them. So what's monogamy, Jamie? Tell me.
Oh, monogamy is when you are one person in a relationship with one person, and the romantic and sexual side of the relationship remains between the two of you. You are just two people in a relationship. you do not explore outside of that.
I'm monogamous.
I'm monogamous too.
Sorry, I just felt the need to clarify that.
Yeah.
And what's poly?
I believe it's when you would have consensual, like everybody in the situation consents and is aware, you have relationships outside of a one-on-one.
It's, I guess, what some people call like an open relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
So like
you could have like three people in a relationship with each other.
Yes, that's not open.
Yeah. Or one person in the relationship
Explores either
feelings
sexual
for
or
other
romantic
people.
relationships with other people.
Yeah.
And the other person doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
all
the
of those are like
idea
poly
is that
situations, right?
It's all agreed upon within the relationships and everybody knows what's happening.
I have to say, I don't know enough about like polyamory. I'm respectful. I'm wanting to learn. I'm just prefacing this because I don't want to say anything rude. So if anything is coming out of ignorance, let us know.
Yes, please do.
And please forgive my ignorance in the situation. Cool. All right. Hi, I'm a 24-year-old trans man.
Cool.
Been together with my partner, 29-year-old man, for over 4 years.
Okay.
Since I'm disabled and not able to do a lot of physical stuff, and my partner is hypersexual, so that just means like really sexual, right?
I would assume so.
We agreed to ethical non-monogamy, so he can be sexually satisfied. This has been the case for at least 2 years. So what I'm hearing is, your partner wants a lot of sex, you feel, for whatever reason, you can't provide that, or you're not providing that, and so there is a consensual agreement between the two of you that he finds that elsewhere.
Yes.
All right, got it.
Cool.
At first, it was just for sexual stuff. We had the odd hypothetical conversation about maybe dating too, if there was someone that we both liked, but we never really discussed it beyond that, and he claims that we did. Foreshadowing a problem. However, recently, as I've been swamped by uni work and stressed, he's been getting closer to one of our housemates, who's a 24-year-old woman. I thought it was nothing because we're quite a tight-knit and affectionate group of friends, but the weekend before my deadline, they went on a trip together down the country and came back to tell me that they'd gotten sexual.
That is
Felt the need to
unnecessary,
add that.
Shaaba.
That in itself was fine. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's fine, right? Because they said that that's okay.
That was part. I'd assume as long as part of the non-monogamy agreement included like
People that you both know.
Yeah,
And
and you don't have to run it past the other partner before it. It doesn't have to be like, hey, I'm getting feelings for this person. Just letting you know it's going to
It might
happen.
not just be feelings, right? Because I think we're in a very old mind school
Old school mindset.
Thank you. Where we, because of us, like just how we operate, we don't have sex unless we feel things for other people. But some people do, and that's okay.
Sure. Oh yeah, no, I meant any kind of feelings, sexual feelings, romantic.
Oh right,
feelings.
cool, yeah. That was me being the old school. We'll read on.
Move on.
That in itself was fine, but I literally had to pry to get more information.
Right.
Which sounds like a problem, right? Because I don't know a lot about poly life, but I do know that communication is key. You shouldn't be prying for information. Boundaries need to be set. You need to be having comfortable discussions.
There should be a boundary of like all the information is shared or certain information is shared, what each partner wants to know about what goes on with the other, blah.
Yeah. He has had feelings for her for a long time. I didn't know this. And they discussed a relationship and the possibility of a triad. Ooh. So that's all three of you being in a relationship together.
I have thoughts.
What's your thoughts?
I have thoughts about like something about the concept of two people talking where like one of them is in a relationship with person A, right? And then they're suddenly like, oh hey, without person A's involvement, without Mer, saying, hey, I think like we should all be in a relationship together, like without including the person that you're literally talking about potentially having this relationship. I think talk about it in the context of the two of you who are actually having the conversation and then take it back to
the relationship. You said the conversation. You mean the two people that are in the relationship have that
conversation
as a conversation and then take it to the other person. I agree. I feel like it's kind of like a hierarchy queen bee thing. You know, like there is a solid relationship foundation. That's where the conversation should then go out to recruit in. You know, like in Mean Girls, the three plastics had the chat together about whether to include Katie. You don't have a chat with Katie and then go back and be like, hey, other plastics, should we include Katie?
Yeah, or like...
Is that what you're saying?
Or potentially agree to having like a triad relationship where you don't even know if
the other person
would want to be in a relationship, because we're talking about like one person being poly or ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah. Do you know, listening to all of this and hearing this, I know we've still got a bit more of the story to go. I know that a lot of the world, just generally, are like very not on board with poly people. There's still like a huge stigma, right, involved in poly relationships, in the idea of non-monogamous relationships.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to address that. I think that it's totally fine to not feel comfortable yourself, but it's really important to be able to respect that other people don't always live how we live.
Yeah.
So for anyone who might be like, oh, because I actually used to be one of these people, and I just wanted to voice that, if I may just be vulnerable for a second. I used to be like, I don't like it. This makes me feel uncomfortable. But just because I'm not okay with the idea of sharing my romantic and sexual partner, because, as I said, for me, my relationship with sex and who I have sex with is a lot more loaded than just the act of sex itself. It was like a bit of a mic drop moment for me to realise that not everybody sees relationship, sex, anything as you see things. So we need to be respectful and just operate within the boundaries of other people. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree with you.
Just because you don't want it for yourself doesn't mean that it's not good for other people.
And doesn't mean that that it doesn't work for others, and that it's not an absolutely perfectly fine way to live and conduct relationships.
So I just wanted to say I very welcome poly discussions here, and I hope that people who haven't heard of it before don't think, oh, such a snowflake millennial or Gen Z or whatever thing to do, blah blah blah, relationships like this aren't actually real. We should be treating them with the respect that all relationships deserve.
Yeah.
If the people involved are consenting, fab.
Agreed. I'm not interested in my housemate in that way. Okay. I see her as a sister, if anything. Also, definitely not.
That's like more than friend zoned when you're sibling zoned.
Yeah. But I was hurt because it felt like all this happened under my nose, and they chose the worst possible time to spring this on me. My final year of university, going through puberty from HRT, and general seasonal depression. And as far as I knew, she was strictly monogamous until that weekend.
Oh. Wow. So
Is
even
she
the
in a
friend
relationship as well?
Okay, wow. Or regardless,
Or
the
just-
idea is like, oh, you're open to the idea of a triad? I didn't think you were poly.
Yeah.
I can see why this feels like a surprise to OP.
Yeah, this feels like a lot. Anyway, after a brunch of discussions of terminology and boundaries... What?
A bunch, my love. I don't think they went to brunch.
My head.
It's just
My
a bunch.
head was like, this is so formal. They had a brunch to discuss this. Oh. I'm hungry. Leave me alone.
Carry on.
Shush. Anyway, after a
Over
bunch,
mimosas and pancakes of discussing terminologies and boundaries.
they agreed to just be friends with benefits for now. And I asked them to take it slow rather than shake up house dynamics while I need stability.
Sure.
That must also add an others.
I feel like that must feel really tense because a partner clearly wants to do something else that OP doesn't want to do. How does that not create a tension between you? You need to discuss it. And if you're not falling on the right, like the aligned sense of values, then where do you go from there?
Yeah, it's tricky.
Because you both need to consent, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just not working, I guess.
No, it does sound like it could cause a friction, for sure, between everybody. It's been a few weeks since then, and it seems like they're more than just friends with benefits. Though my partner claims to have his feelings for a housemate, quote, bottled. That doesn't sound healthy. She relies on him like he's her partner, and on his birthday in a few weeks, he will be driving her down to the country again, so we'll have no time together. I wasn't quick enough to ask for his time, I guess.
Oh, and now OP's feeling bad. Mer's feeling bad there for being like, now I'm feeling like relationship-wise, I need to share this. In my mind, I'm like, whoa, hang on. Mer, you agreed that because you felt that your partner needed extra sexual satisfying, you agreed that that could be done elsewhere. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, now I can't spend time with the person that I love and want to be with on their birthday.
Because they're with the person they're calling a friend with benefits.
Who they want to be in a relationship with that is significantly more than just the sexual stuff that you agreed to at the beginning of your relationship.
And that, like, there's no denial of feelings being there because Mer's partner has said the feelings are bottled.
I'm seeing there's like a map and you started here and you're now like here. And I feel like that point of getting here
We've
to
done
here
like Route 66.
in an ethical poly relationship, that all needed to be discussed and mutually agreed upon.
Yeah.
And I feel like that hasn't happened. Maybe like a, what do those people say? You give an inch, take a biscuit.
Give an inch, take a mile.
Sure.
Take a biscuit.
Is it not take a biscuit?
No, you can say you're taking the biscuit. It's kind of like a polite way of saying taking the piss.
Give an inch, you're taking the biscuit.
Give an inch, take a mile. Taking the biscuit is like if
I
someone's
give you an inch, you
taking
take the
piss.
biscuit.
Can you stop just saying it? Let me finish my point about why you were wrong.
It sounds right.
Two separate sayings. Take the biscuit, like taking the biscuit. It's kind of like taking the piss. Like you're like taking the piss out of somebody.
I give you an inch and you take the piss.
No, you don't say that. Give an inch, take a mile is saying you allowed somebody to eat a chocolate and then they go and eat the whole box. They can also be taking the biscuit by taking the piss, but you gave them a little bit of leeway and they just took all of it. And
the biscuit. Give a crumb, take a biscuit.
There, that works. Oh dear, and this is not. What the heck has happened?
I'm so sorry.
Are you okay?
Let's get back on track.
Your eyes are tearing.
It's funny. A brunch. And now I've done something silly. Let's help her. Let's help her.
Listeners, let us know if you've ever heard of give an inch, take the biscuit.
It's a thing, right?
I'm going to Google this after. Anyway, I'm sorry that we have not read this fully.
Yes, come on, Mer. We're here.
Whenever they have sex, I have to hear it or blast music because it's literally happening the next room over. That also feels like a very specific thing that should have been agreed upon at the beginning.
Like, can you hear?
Yeah.
Can it be done in my vicinity?
Maybe something that's like, I am comfortable with you doing this away from me because I appreciate the boundaries of our relationship and what we can offer each other. But like, maybe you just don't want to hear that. And it's not about pretending it's not happening. It's just about it literally not being like right there. You know?
And you know what? I feel like this even just written here, I have to hear it or do that because it's literally happening in the room next over. Clearly, Mer is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And if you're uncomfortable, that's not a functioning, healthy, ethical poly relationship.
Yeah.
It means that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah. And suddenly he tells me he wants kids and fantasizes about starting a family with her. That is more than friends with benefits. While I was clear I never wanted kids.
That's not very bottled.
Oh my goodness. I'm not even sure I'm into romantic polyamory, but I don't want to stop him from exploring the part of himself. And he says, we discussed it. Am I the drama?
Do you know what's making me uncomfortable as well? It's the whole, like, he says we discussed it. And earlier on is, he claims we did. Clearly, Mer doesn't believe that that's the case. Yeah. And even if maybe you did, it's not a game of like, oh, my memory's better than yours. I have whatever it was, you are not comfortable, right? So that needs to be taken into account by your partner. If they can't accept that, this isn't a healthy relationship.
Yeah. And also, I feel like that's a really big thing that like it should have been like a big conversation. Like I'm not speaking to like individual people's like experiences with memory and like being able to remember things because everybody's a bit different. But I feel like if we spoke about the boundaries of having an ethically non-monogamous relationship and romantic polyamory,
you'd remember the terms.
That's like a big deal as part of that conversation. If you're remembering one bit, I feel like
that goes into a bit of manipulation. Why do I keep bringing manipulation up? I feel like I'm the drama. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like maybe it's because they're involved in so many situations where people are really stuck. You know, it may be that your partner isn't being very trustworthy. If someone is saying to you, this is what I would say, Mer. If someone is saying to you, yeah, but we discussed it. And you're going, you know what? Even if we did, and I agree to it then, I don't agree now. Consent is not a retrospective thing. It's an ongoing thing. And it can change at any moment. And if your partner is not accepting that, they are not mature enough to be in any relationship. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. And I think I just reread the bit too. And it was like the odd hypothetical conversation about maybe dating too if there was someone we both liked but never really discussed it beyond that.
Beyond like a hypothetical thing.
I feel like that the best case scenario there to me
misunderstanding
is
misinterpretation.
Yes. One partner thought that it was like a deeper conversation that led to more concrete discussions than the other.
Yeah.
But again,
if that's what happened, that is not what Mer is clarifying to you. That is not what they are okay with.
That is not what they have
so sad
had
too bad,
in their
move on.
head of what the boundaries are. So therefore, a new discussion needs to be had, and the boundaries need to be relayed.
So yes, partner,
respected.
You can't do it. You can't do it within the confines of your relationship.
Yeah.
Simple.
And that last bit, really like about like the kids fantasizing starting a family with her. Clearly, those feelings are not bottled very well, and that sounds like a really difficult situation.
I am all up for respecting polyamory. I promise you, I have no qualms with it. What I have a qualm with is I'm stepping back, and from my outside perspective, I'm like, okay, you've gone from agreeing to allow someone to have sex with other people because they have needs, and now you're talking about being in a 3-way relationship with the future of children that you don't want
Yeah.
with someone who you view as your sister. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, when you put it like that.
apples and oranges, babe.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, but I feel like, and it's difficult sometimes when you see this, like, when you're living it, you're seeing it step by step. But when you look at it, you're like, oh wow, yeah, this is
You can see the whole
this was
map.
not the train. This is not the station I signed up to be
I
at.
did not buy a ticket for this stop.
Refund. That's my view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
OP,
completely agree.
I don't think you're the drama, my love.
No, I don't think you're the drama. I think a very frank, honest conversation needs to be had about your boundaries, what you are comfortable with, and if that still works within the relationship.
Yeah.
Because you deserve to be comfortable in your relationship and have your boundaries fully respected.
What you just said there, you deserve to feel comfortable in your relationship. That is it. That is the mic drop moment right there. That is it. Whatever relationship that you're in, if you're not comfortable, and consistently, I'm not saying you can't have arguments. Arguments are very
and
healthy.
have moments, but like if there is an
You can be angry in a
overarching
relationship.
thing-
You can be sad, but if you're uncomfortable, that is a big problem.
yeah, if you're uncomfortable with the boundaries of the relationship, that definitely is something you do not deserve to feel, and that warrants a conversation
Best of luck, my love.
over brunch.
Woo!
Sorry, I just had to lighten a bit. I'm sorry that you're experiencing this.
Yeah. So what have we learned from today's episode?
Bodily autonomy is important. Boundaries in a relationship and respect in a relationship are
Avocados make
important.
great tattoos.
And don't be horrible at Christmas.
And if you give an inch, you can totally not take a biscuit. I swear that's a saying.
I like how I went serious and you just talked about avocados and biscuits. Are
No.
you hungry?
You are very right. I also am hungry, but that is by the by. I agree with you. Bodily autonomy, and also even poly relationships like need boundaries. You need to have these in place beforehand.
Yeah,
It's been very enlightening.
I agree.
Oh.
That concludes the second episode.
Well, my loves, if you enjoyed this episode, please do consider giving it a rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube, think about giving it a like and leaving a little comment about what you think.
And, maybe consider subscribing because that really helps us out too.
I mean, yeah, you can do that as well if you want to.
You can follow us at 1-800-DRAMA-POD.
Yes, on Instagram.
Thank you, I forgot. And if you want to send your own drama in, like the lovely Ma here, you can do that via our website. All of the links are downstairs in the description.
Thank you for joining us and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, biscuits.